Hello, thanks for swinging by. I hope you're having a good day today. This vlog is going to be about pacing. If you're living with ME or CFS, that's myalgic encephalomyelitis or chronic fatigue syndrome, or you know somebody who is, or you just want to know more about it, then hopefully this will be pretty useful to you, because one of the things that I learned very early on was how important pacing is. I didn't used to call it pacing, it's just from reading internet forums and articles, lots of people call it pacing. Pacing is nothing more really than not doing too much. Because if, like me, if you have ME and you do too much, you get what's called payback. Now that's different to just overdoing it and then feeling knackered and maybe needing a good lie-in and then you're fine the next day. This is to do with being knocked so sideways that it really isn't in proportion to how much you've done the day before. So, well, I'll give you an example. Yesterday I was going to record this video and I had an idea in my head as to what I was going to say, and I set up the camera here in the lounge and I started recording, and I knew straight away I couldn't really string a sentence together. My brain was so foggy and blurred. I couldn't keep my train of thought. I couldn't think of the right words. I was getting really wound up. And in the end, I'm not a swearing type, but I was just like, oh, for sake, click stop, and went to bed and slept so much, and then went to bed early last night and slept through to this morning. And all I'd done yesterday was have a cup of coffee with one person. That's all I'd done. It was at 8:30 yesterday morning. And I thought it was going to be a nice, easy, relaxed day. But actually, the payback from that amount of effort was utterly disproportionate. And again today, actually, I went for a stroll along the seafront this morning. I'm so lucky to live where I live. Was walking along the seafront for about 5 or 10 minutes to a coffee shop, and it was beautiful. And went to the coffee shop and read the newspaper, and then strolled back and got home. And goodness, my eyesight was beginning to go. I can't even think what else now. Lots of pain in my body. Couldn't really think clearly. And then I also find myself, when I've done too much, I start then like worrying about things that don't matter. I know tomorrow I'm meant to meet up with a friend for a cup of coffee. All I need to do is meet friends for coffee. And I started worrying, what if I'm not well? What if I let them down? What will they think of me? And that's just all a stupid waste of energy. But this kind of worrying about things that haven't even happened and building things out of proportion is all a symptom of me having overdone it. And that is all to do with pacing. So I thought I'd really share just some thoughts from me on how I manage my pacing. Having said that, I probably sound like I'm not managing my pacing very well, but that, I guess, is kind of the roller coaster, the ups and downs that comes with living with ME. Certainly does for me. And right now, I'm not doing brilliantly. I've gone through times where I feel, you know, when your life's in flow and everything just kind of works, and any unexpected problems just kind of sweep and slide away from you and everything's good. It really doesn't feel like that at the moment. Life just feels like this really bumpy, gravelly road and lots of potholes in the road. But I'll get through it. So I suppose it is in some ways a good time to talk about pacing. Because for me right now, pacing is really, really important. And I was just looking in my diary at things I've planned for the next week, and I already know, I mean, there's next to nothing in there, but that's it. I'm not adding anything more in there. And indeed, if anybody cancels on me for whatever reason, I won't be disappointed. Not in a rude way, I'll just be glad. It's like, no, that's more time to rest, to do nothing, to sit staring out the window, looking at the sunlight, listening to the birds in the trees, listening to the guys in the next garden drilling. When will you stop the drilling? It's really annoying. So pacing, yeah, that's what I want to talk about. The way I think about my ME, and there are lots of symptoms. If you head to my blog, there should be a link somewhere down here or there or up there or across there. But the website address is zonkt.club. That is the website, zonkt.club. You'll find all sorts of stuff on there about the symptoms of ME. But there's lots of sort of physical pain and lots about brain fog and not being able to think. But also fatigue, and I've mentioned this in another vlog about the fatigue, which is way more than tiredness. It's like your body's been stripped of its bones, everything feels hollow and it hurts and it aches, and sometimes I'm a bit wobbly on my legs. It's like life's been sucked out of you. So the way I think about my energy, sorry, I'm going off in tangents here, is that everybody has a battery inside them. And most people's batteries start the day fully charged and they slowly uncharge through the course of a day, and then at night you go to sleep, and a bit like you put your mobile phone on charge overnight, well I certainly do, the next morning your battery is fully charged and off you go again. Nice and simple. That's how my life was for most of my life. At the moment my battery is a bit like, when your mobile phone's a bit knackered and it doesn't charge properly anymore, or it looks like it's fully charged and then suddenly it says it's on 10% battery. My battery's a bit like that. So a good night's sleep for me, in my mind, I always think of it as, at most, my battery will get 50% charged. But more than that, things I do will use up way more of the remaining charge than you would expect it to do. And so now I've sort of got a system that kind of works for me, where I think of anything I'm doing as either low, medium or high energy. Let's think of some examples. A cup of coffee with a friend, I would ordinarily think of as low energy. Going somewhere, sitting down, frothy conversation about nothing that doesn't matter, low energy, great. Going to the newsagents over the road, buying a newspaper, bringing it home, having a flick through the newspaper, low energy, pretty simple. Beyond that, if I'm meeting up, say, with two friends for a cup of coffee, so as well as chatting to them and having the cup of coffee, I've got to follow the conversation that's going on between two people. We're now medium energy. It's amazing how much more energy it takes up and how quickly my brain gets tired just following a conversation. It sounds ridiculous, but it's just how it is. So that would be medium energy. Likewise, if I was meeting up with somebody for, say, a light lunch, and there were quite a few people around, because lots of people being around also seems to drain my energy, I'd think of that as medium energy. And anything more than that, say, for me, an evening meal out. By the way, I don't just eat and drink, but these seem to be examples that spring to mind. But an evening meal out, maybe going out of an evening for a drink with a friend, that is high energy. It really is. And for me, that's also anything at the end of the day, because my day just sort of goes down as the day goes on. So that would be high energy. Likewise, a couple of months back, went to Scotland for an amazing wedding. Friends were getting married, and I knew the wedding day would absolutely be high energy. So that was ticked off in my mind. Likewise, going up to my imminent in-laws in Scotland at Christmas time, which was an amazing thing to do. But I was aware that actually Christmas Day, with lots of relatives coming around and us all chatting to each other and doing all the things you love on Christmas Day, whether I liked it or not, I had to remember that I should consider it high energy. Whereas actually thinking about it now, it's just a great time with friends and family. But no, for me to be able to manage my energy, that was a high energy day. And then here's how I plan my diary. Basically, everything goes in my diary. I even now put doing the washing in my diary, which sounds ridiculous, but my mind is like a sieve, so if it's not in my diary, it doesn't exist. I've also just realised I've got lines across my face because the sun's reflecting from the house over the road. Hey, it's a sunny day, I'm sure you can cope with this. This is actually really, really nice. Not bad for the time of year. So anyhow, in my diary, I now, without writing what they are, I always think of them as low, medium or high energy events. So a cup of coffee, low energy, one person. I'll have no more than 3 low energy things in my day. So low energy I always think of as being a third of my battery. So I can only do 3 things and then I'm done. Medium energy uses up 2/3 of my battery. So that could be lunch with someone or a cup of coffee where I know there's going to be a bit more going on. Maybe there's a couple of people there, or maybe I'm meeting for something more important than just a bit of frothy conversation. And then anything high energy, I know will use the entirety of my battery. So if there's something high energy, it's the only thing I will do that day. If there's something low energy, I could do up to 3 of those things in theory. And remember yesterday, I only managed 1 and then I was absolutely zonked for the day. But it happens, and for me at the moment, I'm in that kind of meh stage. Hopefully that will improve. And then a medium energy thing, I could probably manage 1 of those because that's 2/3 of the battery, and then a little low energy thing as well. So that helps me. I found that really, really useful. I am aware that in the next couple of months, there's something quite big coming up in my life. The small matter of my wedding. Yay, getting married. Very exciting. But I was about to say I'm terrified. I don't mean that. I'm really, really excited, really looking forward to it. The thought of being somebody's husband is quite a scary grown-up prospect, but it's cool. Very exciting. But the thing that sort of terrified, no, I shouldn't use the word terrified me, has a dawning realisation when I was thinking about it earlier on today, because I got up from bed recently. I've been in bed for about 3 hours after going out for that stroll and coffee this morning. I was just thinking about my wedding day, and the ceremony is at 3:30 in the afternoon, and then there's the drinks on the lawn and the photographs, and then there's the meal, and then there's the speeches, then there's the cutting of the cake, then there's the first dance, then there's the whole evening do with more people arriving, and we're leaving at midnight. So 3:30 till midnight, we'll call it 3 till midnight, that's 9 hours. And I know this last year, I can't think of any single day where I've done anything continually for 9 hours. I just can't. 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, need to lie down. And so it's kind of dawned on me today that 9 hours, wedding day, this is where pacing is really going to have to come into play for me. It's not just high energy, it's off the scale energy. When I use my battery analogy, I'll probably need some extra plug-in battery packs. And actually, how am I going to go about that? The short answer is I don't know, so I'll let you know after my wedding. But things I've thought about and things that I'm planning for the day. One is in the week leading up to the wedding day, nothing. If there are any issues to do with the wedding, guests delayed, problems with flowers, the caterer's got a query, I don't know, whatever it may be, all of that we're going to outsource to various friends and family, and it becomes someone else's problem. So with a week to go, my life will be an island, a sanctuary of my own, just to rest. Zero or minimal stimulation, no worries. That's the theory. I know in practice things will happen because they do, but at least if we strip as much away as possible, that will give me a fighting chance. And then the plan for the day, and I think it'll be all right. Well, number one, I'm sure I'll just be buzzing with adrenaline anyway, just that natural burst of energy that will come with getting married. It's such a cool thing to say. Sorry, getting married. I'll be buzzing anyway, I hope. But the plan is after the ceremony, just for 10 or 15 minutes, I'm going to go and lie down in a dark room, corner, stock room somewhere at the wedding venue. and then we'll go and do the photographs, and then I'll go and have another little 10-15 minute lie down. As much as I'm telling you on this video, the idea is for the guests on the day, they won't really notice because everyone's mingling and chatting and having a good time. And then we'll do the meal and the speeches, and then again I'll go and have another little lie down, and then there'll be the cake and the first dance, which is actually, I will use the word terrifying for the first dance because I'm a bit of a dad dancer, you know what I mean? A couple of lemonades and I think I can dance, and then you look back on a video if anyone's ever filmed it and it's not great. So first dance, and then at some point mid-evening, again, probably we'll go off somewhere quiet for 10 or 15 minutes, lie down. I'm not saying I'll need a sleep, but lying down, dark, no noise, no light, no distractions, no sensory anything is just really good just for bringing me down and just giving me an extra little burst of energy. Just, you know, when your phone's on 10% and you just give it a 5, 10, 15 minute charge and it gets you through, because there's nothing worse than your mobile phone running out of battery. That's the theory. And then come midnight, the car picks us up and we go off to the newlywed suite of the hotel. We'll see what happens. So that's the theory of the day. And then the next day we'll be really relaxed, and then we go on our honeymoon. And the honeymoon might, for me, just be a fortnight laid up, but we're cool about that. So yeah, big pacing. So I was thinking, why am I telling you about this? A big pacing project come up for me. At the moment, I'm aware I'm not on an even keel at the moment. I felt like I had quite a crash a couple of weekends ago, and each day where in the morning I'm thinking, this is it, I'm full of energy, today's the day, I'm clearly not. And my temptation to get really carried away and be doing lots is stupid. And that's one of the things why pacing needs to be quite conscious, and why I put everything in my diary, not just so I don't forget and let people down, but also so I don't get carried away doing more than I think I can, because that then will just set me back. And it might mean 3 days in bed or at home, or mainly in bed. It might mean feeling really grouchy, foggy-headed. The phone rang a little earlier, and somebody rang to do with a little secret project, which if it comes off, I can't wait to tell you about, but there you are. How's that for a tease? But I was trying to be really coherent and sound quite intelligent on the phone, and the words weren't coming out right, and I was trying to find the right words, and words were stuck, or the wrong words were coming out, and it was really embarrassing. But it was also a good reminder to me that I just need to pace myself. I just need to be kinder to myself. I need to worry less. I need to not feel guilty about not being able to do things or not wanting to do things. If I need to sleep in the middle of the day, if I need to lie down suddenly, fine. You know, it sounds really selfish, but there is nothing more important than me. In other words, I need to look after me before I can then look after other people, before I can be the best fiance in the world, before I can be a great friend, before I can help other people who've got issues going on in their lives. There is no point trying to do any of those things unless I look after me, be as kind to me as I can. And that really is what pacing is all about. I think I've made the point now. I've blogged about it as well on the website zonkt.club. I know that's a weird address. It's normally .com or .whatever. It's .club. So zonkt.club is the website, and I've blogged about pacing, about guilt, about worry, about sleep, about stress, about all sorts of things. So if you want to have a read of that, amazing. If I've already knackered you out because... sorry, this is 20 minutes. That's far too long. Thanks for staying this long. That is very, very kind of you. But you're probably worn out already. So if you've got time to leave a comment below, thank you so much in advance. If you can like and subscribe and share, that is amazing as well. Or if you've just got this far and just thought, you know, I just need to turn my computer off and go and have a lie down, I get it. And actually, if that's how you feel, you should do that. That is you pacing yourself and putting yourself first. and that is really, really important. Anyhow, right, I'm waffling, I'll stop. Thank you for watching, look after yourself, and hopefully I'll post another video before too long. Bye.